Hi YouTube, Mitchie P, back again. Man, people seem to love the nostalgic content that I've done recently. I don't know, for those that haven't caught my most recent videos, I posted a video on or about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game collection, Cowabunga collection for PlayStation 5. Wow. In my follow-up video, I talked about how I was filled with gratitude and joy because that Ninja Turtles video game topic gained me maybe 17 or 18 views, probably a little more than that at this current time, but it also gained, I'm sorry, I'm a little tongue twisted. I also gained 2 more subscribers from that off on that video. So it brought my subscriber count at that point up to 26. So after that video, I posted, like I said, the gratitude and joy video. Although in that video you can't tell my joy because it was 8 o'clock at night, my time, Louisiana, United States, Central Daylight. But anyway, you may not be able to tell that I'm too, or you may be able to tell rather, not very enthusiastic at this point. Right now, although it's roughly 6:30 in the evening, my time, but things take a toll on people, and sometimes more than others. What can I say other than that? So I'm sorry if this video is not as maybe upbeat as usual, but I wanted to record this since it was on my mind. It's kind of a follow-up from the Ninja Turtles video game. Keeping with that topic, or a retrospective, let's just call it that, retrospective of sorts. And it fits with the Ninja Turtle theme. Since I received overwhelmingly an overwhelming response from that video so far, my idea right now is to talk about the Ninja Turtle movies that came out in the early to mid 90s. And honestly, a couple that came out after, what I'm referring to, for those that may not be aware, it may not be in my age range, about probably late 30s, mid 30s to early 40s or so would be what I consider my age range. But other than the 1987 cartoon series through 1996, I believe it ran through, like I'm trying to say, I believe the original cartoon Ninja Turtles series ran from the years 1987 to 1986. Well, in between that time period, strike while the iron's hot, right? So, somebody thought it was a good idea, great idea, to capitalize on that by releasing theatrical Ninja Turtle movies. So in 1990, the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle live action movie came out. And yes, nowadays there are a handful, maybe two movies that can be considered live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm referring to the two that star Megan Fox, and produced by Michael Bay, the director of movies such as all of the live-action Transformers from 2007 to the mid-2010s, maybe late 2010s or so. I'm not sure. I probably will do a video on the live-action Transformer Michael Bay directed movies, but this is about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies released from or between the years of 1990 and 1993. And there was a completely CGI Turtles movie released in 2007. I may touch on that movie because it's in a collection that I own, as is a Turtles Batman crossover cartoon movie, animated movie, which is also in the collection I own, but I cannot speak on that one because I've never seen it. I will, since it's part of the collection of movies or discs that I have. I just haven't yet. All that being said, for the movies themselves, at least the first 3 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. I forget the director of the first one of the 1990 Turtle movie. I believe it might be Steve Barry or Barron, maybe. I may be totally wrong. I may be somewhat right. close. I'm not sure. But that was released in the year of 1990, like I said, and I believe at the tail end of March of that year, possibly. However, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle suits and animatronics, or at least the suits, were done by Jim Henson's Creature Workshop. This was just before Jim Henson's passing, which I do have a video about Jim Henson somewhere on the channel that I did way back. I may have mentioned about his involvement in the Ninja Turtle 1990 movie. I really don't remember, but I may have mentioned it. Either way, in the 1990 movie, it was four men dressed in the turtle costumes or suits, created by Jim Henson and his company Workshop. And maybe they worked on Splinter, also their mentor, father figure, right? I'm pretty sure they did if they did the turtle costume suits. I'm sure they had a hand in the creation or building or designing the Splinter character in the movie. So in that movie, you have your four core characters of the Turtles, which are Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo, of course. And then April O'Neil, Splinter, the mentor / father figure to the Turtles, Shredder, and a bunch of teenagers playing Shredder's Foot Clan, Foot Soldiers. And then you have another character on Shredder's side or end, Tetsu or Tazu. Is his name, and he's the somewhat leader of the Foot Clan. He gets all the recruits together and kind of oversees their training or whatever it may be. But of course, Shredder is the overall villain and leader of the Foot Clan. And then you have Casey Jones. Sorry, I'm not naming actors or actresses. I'm not sure who played the parts or voiced the characters, with the exception of Donatello. That the character of Donatello was voiced by Corey Feldman. And if you're not sure or don't know who Corey Feldman is, he was basically a child actor of the 1980s. He was usually paired off in his subsequent movies along with another child teenage actor by the name of Corey Haim, I believe is the other guy that was named Corey Haim. Usually Haynes and Feldman acted alongside each other in movies, at least in the 80s. But more on Corey Feldman a little bit later. So yeah, that's the extent of the actor/actress list I can provide for you. But I mean, I don't want to give away plot points or anything. Just if for some reason you're a Ninja Turtle fan and haven't seen the 1990 version theatrical movie, I urge you to go watch it any way you can, via DVD, Blu-ray, any streaming, whatever you can find it on. I don't have Netflix currently or access to Netflix, but when I did have access, I do know that periodically it was on there. Like I said, it may be on some streaming platform via Netflix or something right now. I don't know. I don't need streaming to watch it because I have the movie on DVD. But anyway, so to quickly capitalize on the success of the 1990 Ninja Turtle movie, they did a quick turnaround and released Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze in 1991. Yes, they went from one Turtles movie in 1990 and released a second Ninja Turtles movie in 1991. I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, feel free to look it up if you want. But I believe it was almost exactly a year between the two movies. Turtles 2 basically picks up not right after the first one, but not long after. I don't believe it's stated how much time has passed between the two movies, but it is kind of stated or referenced to the end of the first movie in the first few minutes of the movie. I'd say like within 15-20 minutes of the second movie, the end of the first movie is referenced. Like I said, I won't spoil anything for those who haven't seen any of the movies I'm talking about. You should at least watch the first two. Do yourself that favor. And if you don't feel like it or not interested, hey, anyway, so The Secret of the Ooze is more than likely my favorite out of 1, 2, and 3. Because Turtles 1 is fine. It does justice to the comic book versions of the Ninja Turtles, although I've never seen the comics. Never read the comics. I'm not a comic reader. I watch just about everything of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's one media of reading I've never gotten into. And at this point, honestly, maybe never will. Although, like they say, time will tell. But, so, like I said, I believe Turtles 1 is more succinct with the atmosphere and tone of the Mirage. I believe it's Mirage Comics, Ninja Turtles. But the second one is, in my opinion, more in line with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated cartoon series that was airing weekday afternoons and Saturday mornings, I believe. at that time in the early to mid 1990s. So, and that's the Turtles, Ninja Turtles. I know. The drawback to Ninja Turtles 2 Ooze is they have April, the Turtles, Splinter, and Shredder, of course, even Shredder's little sidekick, Tezu, Tatsu, who I mentioned earlier, are all back. The drawback to it is the cartooniness or the atmosphere helps it, but also hurts it. What I mean by that is originally the Ninja Turtles created by I forget their names. I know one's Laird and the other gentleman, I forget his name at the moment. Maybe it'll come back to me. Peter Laird is half, at least, of the duo that came up with and created the Ninja Turtle comic series. But after the first Turtles movie was released, they received complaints that the tone of the movie was too dark and all this. Now, it did great at the box office because children at the time, like myself, probably begged and screamed at their parents to bring them to the movie theater so they can watch their Ninja Turtles on the big screen. I probably did beg, but I don't know about scream to go see the movie. I just wasn't that type. Anyway, so parents, of course, had to sit through the movie with their kids, and from there, it just blew up into the tone and atmosphere. Well, I don't know about tone and atmosphere, but it was considered by many parents too dark and violent. So to help please the masses, as it were, they toned down everything or maybe not everything, but the violence and the, other things in the second movie. And honestly, even though I love the first two movies, I have to say Turtles 2, if it was released as is today, it would get laughed at, in my opinion. So, but both movies did well enough on their own and combined to greenlight or give the go ahead for a third movie released in 1993, I believe. However, the third movie, the turtle costumes were not done by Jim Henson's Creature Shop Workshop. I forget who did the costumes or suits or whatever. Before I move on to the third movie properly, I'm sorry, I have to back up a little bit. I did mention that I would come back to Corey Feldman. Well, Corey Feldman, who was the voice of Donatello in the original 1990 Ninja Turtle, did not come back for his role in 1991 because he had legal issues or trouble. He might have been in jail at this point. I'm not sure. I just know from what I've seen and heard over the years, past handful of years, he was unable to voice Donatello again in the 91 Ninja Turtle 2 Secret of the Ooze movie. So I'm not sure who they had, who voiced Donatello in Secret of the Ooze. But in my opinion, the second voice actor to voice Donatello is slightly better, more in tone with the overall aesthetic of the movie and the cartoon or animated version of Donatello at that time. Again, you'll just have to watch the movie and see what I mean. Maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't. Form your own opinion, that's fine. So on to the 1993 theatrical Ninja Turtles movie. Like I was saying, for the third movie, Jim Henson's work, Creature Shop, did not have a hand in the Ninja Turtle costume suits. I'm not even sure if they had a hand in the Splinter character at that time or not. The look and style between one and two, the look and style of the Ninja Turtles suits, costumes between 1 and 2 is somewhat the same, maybe improved upon a little bit, but since by the third one, they had to move on from Jim Henson's company. The look and style between the last two movies is definitely for the worst. In the 1993 third installment of Ninja Turtles, they travel via this little time device from the mid-1990s in New York to feudal Japan. That's the only thing I'll mention plot-wise. For the rest, like I said, for the other two, watch. Then you have Turtles again, Splinter again, and then April. All those characters come back, and then you have Casey Jones coming back for a smaller, somewhat lesser role in the third movie. The biggest drawback, other than the look of the turtles, in 3 is there's no sign or mention of Shredder and those events of the previous two movies. I'm not sure why. And then after 1993, I'm not sure, maybe it wasn't financially sound or wise to continue on. Although there have been, I've watched YouTube videos of what could have been Ninja Turtles 4, but they decided not to continue, and I think that was mainly because Ninja Turtles 3 did not perform well at the box office. If you watched it or ever watch it, you can more than likely see for yourself why. And I see why. Like I said, for the second movie, 3 would definitely not hold up at all in today's view of things. But then, after quite some time passing, 2007 rolls around, and I think maybe in March, or maybe, I don't remember the month, but maybe sometime in the spring or early summer of 2007, you have a completely CGI animated Ninja Turtles movie, simply titled TMNT, which of course stands for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But some say that's the true sequel to Ninja Turtles 2. I guess I can see why, or would see why if I really paid attention to it. But unfortunately, that is my least favorite of the collection I own that I've watched. So far, like I said, there's a Ninja Turtle Batman crossover animated movie in that collection that I have not watched yet. Not sure when I will, but I will. So, yeah, the clock is telling me it's been about 42 minutes, maybe coming up on 43 minutes. At this point, I just had a lot to unpack with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in general. This is something I grew up with. So, yeah, it's nostalgia. Pretty much 100%. But tell me if you've seen the Ninja Turtle movies that I talked about today, or anything dealing with the Ninja Turtles. Do you like the property? Which turtle out of the 4, Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, or Donatello, is your favorite? For me, definitely it's Michelangelo. If you haven't seen a few of my previous videos, I do have a t-shirt with the face of Michelangelo on it on the front. Although when I do wear, or the shirts I do wear, you can't tell what's on them because of my positioning for filming, but yeah. So I will shut it down now. This has been Mitchie P for Fantasy and Science Fiction Fest. Have a good day, good night. Thanks for the views and subscribers. And I hope to keep it going. Thank you very much.